What's up, everybody? I'm so excited to be here again with you, Dawn. This is exciting. I am Donna V, and this is the most gorgeous Dawn Maloney. And tonight we are here for Practical Magic, and I am excited. Tracy Locke is running a little bit late, so we're going to start tonight without Tracy, but it's okay because we thought maybe it'd be a great way to introduce ourselves to everyone that might be tuning in and wondering, who is this gorgeous guest and why is she here? And I am going to tell you, if you missed the afternoon shows with us, well, then you should go back and watch replays, because Dawn and I have known each other forever, but we do a show called Beauty Quarantine. We are your beauty quarantine, and we got you guys through quarantine, teaching you how to stay upbeat, positive, and with a full face of makeup. Dawn Maloney, take it away.
That's right. I am so happy to be back with you. It really is a manifesting miracle.
It is. It's Manifesting Monday. Whoa. Whoa. Yes. Thank you, Sherry. She says, your hair is looking gorgeous. Well, thank you. And that's awesome. Yeah. And hi, Aunt Cecilia. And my mom is here. So hello to everyone that's watching.
Yay. I love all of them. They're our number one fans. They're always there. They're always loyal. I have some loyal friends too and fans on makeupclasses.com, and it's just so awesome. And I just want to give a shout out to all of my friends and family that are watching. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Daria says, hi, Dawn. Hi, Donna. Gwen Kaysen says, hi. She says, hello. We are broadcasting tonight live on Facebook, and we are broadcasting on YouTube and on Periscope. So this is really exciting. It's nice to be able to get out to other audiences and expand what's going on.
Absolutely. And we appreciate it too. And I know that, we were just talking a few hours ago. I was saying how you have fans out in Pennsylvania. I have some family members that adore you. And
I love that. Thank you.
So good to be back. It's great. I miss you.
I miss you. I know. I miss you, but I'm glad I get to see you. And I think that we manifested this. And like I said, yes, this is Manifesting Monday. It's called Practical Magic. It's a series that we started, I think it's about 5 weeks ago. And it was initiated by Tracy Locke saying to me, Donna, you do a lot of manifesting and you put it into your everyday life. Mm-hmm. So could we talk about it? We talked about it. We had a lot of people saying they really enjoyed it. They loved it. We had requests to come back. So then we involved life coach Kim Mazzella, who I know, which I can't wait to hear about, that you have just started working with.
Absolutely. Yes. She's awesome.
She is amazing. And she'll be back next week. And then we can maybe even have 4 of us on. It's going to be, we told 2 friends and they told 2 friends. We're going to have like a huge panel, and soon we'll just have a talk show, because that's what we're manifesting.
Right. That's right. It's coming, Donna.
Marissa E says, love you, Dawn.
I love Marissa. I have to give a shout out to Marissa. Marissa worked with me when I had my shops, and she has been, I'm going to start crying. She has been one of the most loyal people in my life. She's just such a good friend. She was a client first, and then she came to work with me, and it was, I miss her so much. We haven't worked together in about 12 years, but it's going to happen, Marissa. It's coming. I always said we're going to work together again. And she's
a makeup artist?
She is, but she really is a very strong businesswoman. She managed everything for me, and she was just amazing. And I'm going to leave it at that. She's just amazing, and comes from an amazing family too. They're just loving, very loving people. I love you, Marissa.
Kudos to you, Marissa, because if this woman is saying that about you, we know it's true.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Manifesting Monday.
I know that if there is anyone else in the world that loves manifesting as much as I do, it is you. We've talked about it on our beauty segment, and I would like you to just introduce what maybe you feel you might have, how you benefit from manifesting in your life, Dawn. Share it with people that are totally watching. By the way, I just will say, Dawn, Marissa says she's crying. Thank you.
Oh, I love her. Marissa and I can cry together.
Listen, you gotta have a good cry
We
sometimes.
gotta have her on the show.
Totally.
Not only is she gorgeous, but so intelligent. And yeah, all right, I'm gonna start crying. All right, Marissa.
We don't want to manifest crying. We have a whole bunch of people that want to know about manifesting.
Manifesting, yes. Well, how has it benefited my life? That's a huge question, and I have just one answer. It has always benefited me in the positive. Manifesting is nothing but bringing good and positivity into your life. Bottom line. And it really starts with, I guess, the most simple way to teach people what manifesting is to go back to the law of attraction, which is one of, I think there's 12 universal laws in the world, in the universe, and the law of attraction is one of them. And basically what it means, Donna, and you know this, is that like attracts like. So what you put out is what you receive.
Correct.
And just like what Kim was saying last week with her 4 rules of life, number 2 really is so true, because most people just don't believe in the law of attraction, or maybe they believe it, but at the same time, they just don't want to implement it into their life. But I can tell you from so many personal stories that manifesting and the law of attraction truly works. It truly works. The universe does not understand anything but to give you what you're asking for.
Correct.
So, like, sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, because a lot of people will think, well, wait a minute, this happened to me. Did I really attract it? I would say childhood trauma, that sort of thing, probably not. I'm going to say no to that. But things that happen as an adult, yes, you do attract that, good and bad. And I definitely could tell you that every bad thing in my life, I have attracted, and every good thing in my life, I have attracted. So law of attraction actually makes you accountable and responsible. And most people, they don't want to be accountable.
No.
Responsible.
No, I want to just add to that, if you don't mind, because as you were saying that, I think that when people talk about the law of attraction and the fact that you manifest these things in your life, and just like you said, certain things that are negative, they don't want to believe it, because it's like, no, it can't be possible. So when you walk out of the house and you're angry, or you wake up in a really, a sour mood, maybe your alarm doesn't go off and you wake up in a negative space, I think that you do manifest the continuation of negativity unless you take a moment and you stop, take a deep breath, pivot, and change the direction of the energy and where it's going. So I think all too often people easily recognize negative things like a shopping cart that dings your car in a parking lot, or being late for work because you caught that red light that you were like, oh God, if I catch this red light, I'm going to be late. Well, you just said exactly, you scripted exactly what it is. If you catch the red light, you're going to be late. And it proves to you that it isn't. But all too often people fail to recognize the small triumphs and victories and pleasant things that happen in life, because we're just so accustomed to wanting things to positively swing and happen in our way that the little things like the parking spot that I talk about all the time, will the parking spot, that was just there. I'm like, okay, well, I feel I did. I know you agree.
I agree, because the front row parking, I definitely manifest all the time. Back to that ding, right? Like, if you could really pull apart the negative things that happen in your life. So for instance, like, let's say you get a ding in your car and you're like, oh, but I didn't ask for a ding. But maybe there's something inside of you that self-sabotages yourself with the way things look, or you attract lack of money, right? So now you have to pay for the ding to be fixed. So the universe answers our call, but in many different ways. So Kim mentioned, be careful what you ask for. And that's true, because sometimes we ask for things, but it doesn't come the way that we want it. It could come in other ways. Like you could say, with intention, a greedy intention of, I want a lot of money, right? Like, but with a dark heart, right? You want to manifest a lot of money, and it's like an evil thing to you. Which, by the way, I don't believe, money is bad. I believe it's very good, very powerful. But the way that you might receive that money, because it's done with a very dark heart, is in a negative way. So maybe you get hurt and you get all that money in a lawsuit. But now you're, hurt, or maybe you got all this money because
someone passes away and wills it to you.
I was just going to say that, somebody near and dear that you didn't have closure with in your life passes. And so things could come to you negatively as well. I believe in that. So when it comes to the law of attraction, the way I try to work it as best that I can, is I have a loving heart, and I have an intention of receiving through love. So be careful what you ask for.
Oh, definitely. Because the universe doesn't hear don't or no. It doesn't hear I don't want. It just hears what it is that you are saying. Like, for instance, have you ever walked around saying, oh my God, I wish I had more patience. I wish I had more patience. The universe isn't going to send you a package in the mail of patience. It's going to send you a lot of different ways to learn how to have patience.
That's right.
Right. It's going to send you lessons and obstacles to come in front of you so that you can actually work on having more patience. Good evening, Frank Simon has joined us. Nice to see you, Frank.
That's right. So anything that you ask for really has to be clear, I guess, like a true intention behind it. So if you're saying, well, I want more money, well, you really have to put love behind it, so it comes back in a loving way, if that makes sense to everybody. That's what I believe, of course.
I understand that. I understand. Yeah, that's why, where do you think be careful what you wish for comes from?
That's right. That's right.
Because you never know how you will receive it. My mother says she does it every time she goes to ShopRite, and it works. She gets the front parking. I personally think it's probably the handicap placard that she has in her car that makes it work. But I mean, honestly, however she gets front row parking, I mean, good for her.
I tested it.
Luckily, her handicap is not in the exact, it's not like a traumatic handicap.
That's right. That's right.
But it is, like my Aunt Cecilia said, it is all the way you word it. We have a question from Shari Freed. She said, Dawn, are you a religious person as well?
Shari, I was just going to have a disclaimer about my religious belief. I no longer practice any religion. My husband and I decided not to. And the funny thing about it is that I grew up Catholic. I put my kids through Catholic school up until high school, and they made their own decision that they didn't want to continue that way. And I had been involved in a few different churches, and I don't know, I just kind of came to a realization. And also my best friend is very spiritual, and she doesn't practice a religion either. And I just realized that I didn't want to be controlled. And I feel like a lot of religions control people's thoughts and belief system. I also felt that the religions that I was practicing made me feel very guilty about who I was, my past. Even in my, daily practice of living, I just felt like there was a lot of guilt and shame put on me. And I thought to myself, this doesn't feel right. I don't like this guilt and shame. And I'm not a guilty person, and I'm not a shameful person. So why am I feeling like this? It's just the beliefs that I was taught was, you should feel this way. And I don't think that's my truth at all.
So I know just from knowing you that you reference and believe in God, and you believe in your spiritual, but you're saying you don't consider yourself under any one denomination of any specific religious sect.
Right. I mean, I would consider myself Christian, but again, I don't go to church and I don't practice a religion. But do I believe what Jesus did and said? Yes, I do. I do.
So to me, that's very different, because if listening, if someone doesn't know you, it might sound different when you say you don't practice a religion. It almost sounds like atheism, I guess. But so you're
agnostic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that we are all one, and that we have the God particle in us. You know, we are all energetic beings. I also believe that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience.
Okay.
I also believe in the supernatural. And I believe that I do believe in reincarnation, and I believe that the purpose for us to be here on earth is to learn and to evolve as spiritual beings. So will I come back? I don't know. In the human form, I couldn't answer that, but my spiritual being, when I leave this body, will know. I also believe that we choose the body and the family that we're going to be part of, because we already know when we're in heaven and we're in that spiritual realm that we know our fates. But when we are born as humans, we forget it. And we're here to learn. So
it's so interesting, because it's very much something I've talked about with Kim, with Marianne Williamson, the book of, it just, that's very interesting. And I have to say, Tracy Locke is in the green room right now, not to interrupt you, but also Victor Ponte said something very sweet. He said, "You both have God in your heart. I've discerned this."
Oh,
I love that. Thank you, Victor. That's so sweet. But we're doing Tracy Locke. I feel like she's been in the back, and I feel like it's like a talk show. We're gonna like quiz her and see if she actually is watching us in the car. What's up, Tracy? What?
Hello,
what's going on? Where are you?
Oh, I'm still on the highway. We're still on the highway, and I put up a boogie board so that you don't have to see what's behind me. Does that work better?
That's great. It looks like a clean car now.
Okay, fabulous. It's a great camouflage. So I was listening to both of you about being spiritual beings and choosing your own family, and I think that is very true and exciting. And I wanted to touch more on your thoughts, Dawn, on reincarnation. And have you ever had any experiences where you well, I guess my one question is regarding reincarnation. Is what's your view on deja vu? I always love to ask that.
Deja vu. Yeah, oh gosh, you're
having it right now?
No, these are, it's funny because Don and I because we've been friends for so long and we really trust each other, and I share a lot, and Donna knows this. And there are things in my life, in my spiritual life, that I have kept very private for very long. And the whole reincarnation thing is one of them, because a lot of people just don't get on board. They don't believe in it. And they might think, it's a little bit of foo-foo, and, you're a little crazy and that sort of thing. But I have met with other spiritual practitioners, so to speak, where I've done past life regression. Right. And yes, I do believe in that, and I see a pattern. I do believe in it. Yes, absolutely. And deja vu, I think, is part of that as well. I've heard spiritual teachers say that is, kind of like an awakening. It's like a quick moment of, because it's a feeling, it's emotional, right?
Yeah. I think deja vu, for me, I could say this, is like, if even with what we're doing right now, we're saying what we're saying, and there's a few second delay for everybody else. So we'll get like somebody will message us, and it'll be something we said maybe like a minute ago. I feel like we are predestined to live certain parts of our life or all of our life, but then there's free will, so we are able to make choices, which then change it up. But it is the moments that you have deja vu that you are completely aligned with where you're supposed to be. And I think that it's almost as if you get a preview, or you're sitting there and you're like, I've been here before. It's almost as if in those moments, you know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
That's right. That's right. I totally believe in free will. Absolutely. That's the whole learning part. So if some of you are wondering, well, if I chose this life, if I chose this path, then do I have my whole life scripted in front of me? And my answer is no, because free will, think of it like, remember those books, Choose Your Own Adventure, where you would
Exactly.
I see Tracy left us.
She's got some technical difficulties.
Oh.
And yes. My Aunt Cecilia says, I know I've been here before. There are things I know that I never had education or experience with in this lifetime. I so agree with that. And I have experienced that myself. And have you ever noticed, like, a child, you'll say, is a child prodigy, or a child is born and they know things, or they are like
an old soul.
An old soul. I think that is a definitive proof of that. You know, let's see if we can get a.
And then you also have indigo children, which have a very deep spiritual connection, which can be very unusual. Like they, as children, will talk to entities or angels. They just have a higher connection. And I think what happens, we all have that connection, right? And we especially have it as kids.
Yes.
But then what happens is logic is, thrown into our brain, and life experiences, and also compartmentalization and society and all these rules, so to speak. And that's why I don't participate in a religion, because I want to think freely for myself, and I want to believe what I want to believe. And I believe in a higher power. I mean, there is no question that we are not surrounded by God, and that God lives in each and every one of us. And I don't care how horrible of a person you are, God is still in there. He was never exposed. The human flesh never allowed the God exposure.
Right. So it's like, the difference is you don't believe in organized religion.
Yes.
You don't participate in organized religion.
No, not at all. And the part of the Bible that I love the most are the 4 Gospels. And that's pretty much with what I stick with, is when Jesus was here and the stories of his life.
Okay.
That's what I stick with.
Frank said, have you ever had Vuja Day? Not deja vu. Vuja Day. Now,
sounds like an expensive perfume.
It does. It sounds like Jador. I need to know. Sometimes I can't tell sometimes if Frank is kidding or if he's serious. Frank, if you're kidding, okay. If you're not, I would love an explanation of what Vuja Day is. And there's I just saw Dawn's handsome husband in the back.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know he was here. He's so quiet. He tiptoed.
He is. And at least he has his clothes on too.
Darn, the ratings are up.
Yes.
So one of the things that I wanted to segue from the law of attraction, because a lot of people, again, they might be feeling like, okay, well, if like attracts like, and I'm not attracting all that I want to attract, or hey, Tracy, welcome.
Sorry, Mary Allen said, where did Tracy go? Mary, you're a major manifestor. She's back now. She's in her car traveling. She got stuck in traffic on the way back to go to the show, and she is doing her very best because her driver, Chris, who is amazing, who's also the handsome devil in all of her videos with the beard, is driving Miss Tracy. And,
that's right. You hear the beep? You just beeped. There we go.
There you go. Mary Allen said, there's my girl. Sorry, Mary.
Nice. So one of the things that I wanted to segue with like attracts like is some people might be wondering, well, wait a minute, why do I attract negativity, or why are things happening in my life that I'm really not wanting? And I have one word for that person. The universe sees you as a tolerant person. Tolerant. I remember one time my mom said to me, because I was attracting the wrong people in my life, and she said, well, I taught you compassion and how to feel sorry for people. And that's why you attracted this type of person and people in my life. But the truth is, no, what I had accepted in my life was tolerance. And I think that when you're willing to accept or put up with certain things in your life, the universe says, well, here's some more. Well, here's some more.
Yeah,
Let's see what you can do with it.
It does. Hold on one second. I just want to explain. Tracy, I muted you because your noise was making Dawn not be heard. So I'm just telling her. Wait, now I can't unmute her. Jeez.
Oh. We lost one of the hosts.
No, I just did it because when she was, you couldn't hear you.
Right, the background noise.
Background noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back
here too.
You should probably.
All right, how close are you to home, Tracy?
Okay, I'll try you back. It says, we don't know because we're just, there's like traffic. It's like slow. I don't know. He's looking right now. Back in? Call back in?
15 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Now it's good?
Do you have headphones? Oh, she's gone.
Donna, we'll do this again.
Sure. I know.
We'll go to 9 o'clock.
I'm getting anxiety. So I would like to address somebody. I want to hear what you were saying. It's a lot of, I have ADD. So I just jinxed myself because I was like, yes, patience. And I'm having patience. It's just like ADD is like crazy. But we have somebody, Trisha says, I don't know how to say that name. Begnaud. Sounds French. Begnard. I've totally changed over the past year to be a positive person, but I'm still struggling to believe in the fact that I can manifest a new future. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, Trisha, if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, but I was listening this morning to a really great, I listen every morning. I meditate every morning and I listen to Abraham Hicks. You can listen free on YouTube. And if you were to put that question, which is, I've totally changed over the past year to be a positive person, but I'm still struggling to believe in the fact that I can manifest a new future. The fact that you're struggling in believing it is what is preventing you from doing it.
That's right.
Because you are being your own resistance is what it would say, what she would say, or what Abraham would say. So if you are literally saying to yourself, I want to manifest a new future, I just don't think I can, the universe is hearing, well, they don't think they can. So you're actually being proven correctly by not seeing this new future. Next week, when we have Kim on, I know one of the things that we have in the works to talk about is scripting and writing a script. And I want to say hi to Prince of Valley and see how you're doing. Trisha, it's absolutely the right path. I lost 180 pounds, met Tracy twice, and had a job find me. So Mary Allen is a major manifestor. That's great.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yes. And I'm not exactly sure how you did all of that, but that's amazing if you did that with manifesting.
Well, Mary Ellen, she believed it. She believed it, and she had total faith, and she became vulnerable. That's another thing, vulnerability. Again, a negative word in our vocabulary, but vulnerability is strength. It really is. And I believe tolerance, we think tolerance is strength. I think tolerance is a weakness because you're willing to put up with so much stuff and not live your truth.
Right. I asked Mary, I said, how did you do it? She said, mindfulness, yoga, and affirmations, which is amazing and totally true because the apps, and she said, yes, Dawn. And Trisha gave us a thumbs up, which is great. So,
Trisha just has to believe in it and just really, and that's fear-based, right? Like Kim was saying, we have love, which is the strongest energy on the planet, strongest in the universe, but we give strength. We personally put our energy into fear, into the negative, because that's what we've been taught. That's our whole belief system. Like, oh, you really want that to happen? Oh, yeah, okay. Then we have this like imposter syndrome. Like, really, you? How dare you? Who the heck do you think you are? And then we start playing this tape in our head that we're not enough, that we, aren't good, that we don't deserve. And that's all a lie. That's a bunch of BS.
Absolutely true. It's much easier to hear somebody else saying it and say, don't talk about yourself negatively, than to actually take the advice yourself.
Right.
And like Cecilia says, my aunt says, people will treat you how you let them. That includes yourself. And
Yes.
that's exactly why when you do your meditations and your I am statements, you never say anything negative.
Mm-hmm.
And I often say it's very similar to going to a restaurant. You would never go to a restaurant and say to a waitress when they're like, what are you going to have? You know what? I'll have whatever you feel like giving me. No, you go to a restaurant and place an order. You go on your, Amazon and you place an order. You don't say to Amazon or to the waitress or the waiter, you know what? You give me whatever you feel like giving me. And then when it comes, we complain. So maybe they're going to give me, I don't know, a pork sandwich or something, which I do not ever eat meat. So for me, because I didn't specify what it is that I want, you get what you ask for.
Right.
If you're not specific and asking the universe for whatever it is that you want, that is why so many people do not get what it is that they're looking for.
That's right. So basically what you did was when you went to the restaurant, you just asked for something to eat.
Exactly.
So the same thing, like what your aunt was saying, you tend to talk. I love the word tolerance. Actually, before the show, I actually prayed and I said, God, give me a message, give me a show topic. And he said, tolerance. Dawn, you tolerate everything. And I was like, what? Oh my God. It's so true. And the truth, they say like the truth hurts, but no, the truth is beautiful. The truth is real. And it's always positive. Even though I might've heard tonight in my little voice, Dawn, you tolerate everything, but you know what? It's the truth. And,
right.
and knowing your truth and being able to, fix yourself or make the correction or have the awareness is what it's all about. Again, we're here on this planet, as I believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're here to learn and evolve.
There you go. I love that. What else do you find out of spirituality that you incorporate in your everyday life that you want to share with everybody?
Well, manifesting, I have to say, I've been manifesting since I've been a little kid. And I remember, well, when it comes to my career, watching TV and, being such a couch potato that I was, saying, someday I want to meet that person. And boom, as an adult, I'm meeting all these people from when I used to watch them on TV as a child. One of the, I want to say kind of, well, not really recent, but you can relate to this manifestation, was with Tony Robbins, right? You went to his show, you follow his practices.
Right. Walked across the 12 feet of coal.
Yes. Yes. So Tony Robbins is a motivational speaker. He's been around for a really long time. The first time I heard of him was, let's see, my daughter was she born yet? She was probably just a couple months old. So this is going back to like 95, 96. And I had some of the cassette tapes from the local library. And I didn't even have a cassette player. It was so broke. I didn't have one, but I had one in my car. And I said, I'll be damned. I'm gonna listen to this stuff. And I would sit in my car, turn my car on, and I would listen to him talk. And I thought, wow, this guy is so brilliant about, motivation and manifesting and making your dreams come true, right? Well, I followed him for a very long time, and then I was able to purchase the entire tape set. I had enough money and I was able to buy the tape set. And that also motivated me to just get on track with a business plan, that sort of thing.
Right.
Well, I remember that I had seen that he was going to be on QVC. And I thought to myself, oh, I love QV, or was it Home Shopping Club? Maybe it was Home Shopping Club. And I thought, oh gosh, I would love to talk to him. I want to talk to this guy.
I love this story.
So I called Home Shopping Club and I said, oh, I noticed that you're going to have, because they were promoting it. And they said, I called up and I said, hi, I'm a really big fan of Tony Robbins. And they're probably like, yeah, you and a million other people. And I just love him. And they said, well, do you have his CD set or whatever? And I said, well, I have his tape set. Well, did you buy it from us? And I said, well, actually, no, I didn't. I bought it on my own. And they're like, well, okay. I remember the girl on the phone and she said, well, what has happened in your life? And I was telling her all these things. She's like, well, hold on a minute, because we need guests on the show. And you're like in love with this guy. You're like, really believe in his system. And I said, yeah. So she actually scheduled me for the date and time to be on his show. And I just called in. And I remember, because I had watched him before, that he would take phone calls and have guests and have them talk for about, like 5 minutes. You know how that goes, right? Like a short,
yes.
And then cut you off and then hang up, right? Okay, thank you very much. Next person to give a testimonial, right? Well, Donna, I was on the phone with him. Now, it was an hour show on this Home Shopping Club. I was on the phone with him for 40 minutes.
So exciting.
Hour. It really was. And I was like, holy crap. So at the end of it, he says to me on live TV, he says, what do you think, Dawn, if I give you 2 tickets to front row to my next show, which I think was Destiny Powered, I don't know.
You unleash the power.
Unleash your power, something like that. And I'm like, and it was in Sea Caucus. So I accept and I go to this show. So I'm in really close, like I could almost like touch the stage, right? Now there are thousands of people at this event. At the time it was really big. There weren't a lot of motivational speakers on the forefront in the industry. So he attracted a lot of people. It was
He did. I was at a show with 7,000 people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in the front and it was like a 3-day event. And I think it was the second day, if I'm not mistaken. You know how he picks people out of the audience?
Yes.
The first day I was like, I'm going to be picked out of this audience. I'm going to be picked out of this audience. And I didn't say it out loud, of course, but I just kept saying, I'm like, I want to be picked. I want to be picked. I want him to talk to me. So don't he just looks down from the stage, and you know how they have all those cameras and they have somebody with the mic that runs up.
Yes.
So he pointed to me and I'm like, what? And then the cameras came over and the microphone, and then he asked you a question, and you have this brief.
What was the question he asked you?
Oh, all right. Now this is the part where things get a little negative in my life. I was with somebody that I really shouldn't have been with, but I definitely attracted this person in my life. So my ex-husband was with me. And the question that Tony Robbins asked, and gosh, I'm giving myself the chills. You know how you could take yourself back to a moment? It was actually a very scary moment because I was with someone that was extremely abusive in my life.
Was he with you or were you by yourself?
No, he was with me. He was standing right next to me, and it was a very terrifying question. Tony Robbins looked at me and he pointed and he said, we're going to do an exercise. It's with a table, 4 legs. So the table is, your belief, and then the legs, the 4 legs are reasons why. So he said, well, the question is, this is the belief system. He asked me, he said, do you believe that you're sexy? Now imagine a woman that is with a very abusive husband being asked by another man, do you think you're sexy? And like my stomach,
thinking about
it, my stomach dropped, and I thought this was not what I wanted. I wanted him to help me solve my life problems, basically. And of course I lied, because I knew that if I really showed that I loved myself or I thought highly of myself, that I was going to be in really big trouble when I got home that night. So I lied, and I made it, very like, get the camera off me.
You mouseified yourself.
I did. And I think a lot of time, again, tolerance, I tolerated a lot. And that was a moment of like, wow, Dawn, you had your moment in the light, and you just pulled yourself down, right? So, okay, so that happens. Again, it was magical, but it came with a little bit of a price, but it was a learning lesson, and it was I was
foreshadowing,
what was to come. Thank God I was able to get away from this person and start over. Well, I start working for a news organization, and I love Tony Robbins. And I just know, like, again, like all the celebrities I'm going to meet, blah, blah, blah. And yes, he comes to work. And yes, I get to do his makeup and touch up his hair. And I told him all about our home shopping experience together and how we talked a lot. And I went to the seminar, and he asked me, how did it work? And I said, it was amazing. I started a business. It would, just like all these great things happen. Of course, I left out all the negative parts in my life as well. And he said, you know what? You're just like such a fun person. You're so positive. How would you like to go to Florida to our business mastery course, which is,
oh my God,
it's a $10,000 course. And he gave it to me for free completely. I just had to fly down there, get myself a little hotel room. And I was there, I believe it was 5 days as the business mastery. And I just had the most amazing experience again. So
again, that is like you started with the tapes, manifested the fact that he was in your life, got to be on the phone, got the positive experience. And then even though you think that you massified yourself, I know I put those words out there, but it kind of like, I pictured that you just like shrunk.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
The idea that when you got to get away from the situation that really is in the position to shrink, then the next magical thing happened again. Because when you believe in yourself, then and only then can the universe mirror what it is that you're projecting. So when you believe in yourself, when you put yourself out there in a positive light, you will most definitely receive much more positivity. When you sit there and you feed yourself negative thoughts, then it's like eating junk food for your soul. And yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Back to that whole negative thing. So if people are experiencing negative in your life and you're thinking, well, like, why is me, why me? Or, why did I attract this? I really believe it's because you have a high tolerance level. You are not able to tell yourself, no, and I will not accept this in my life. I was accepting everything. I was accepting all of the hurt, all of the abuse, all of this, all of that. And I didn't have the tolerance and the strength at the time to say, you know what, I need to find another way out. But here's the other thing when it comes to domestic violence, and a lot of people will ask me this, why do you stay? And the answer that I always give, and I work actually, I'm a volunteer with the police, the local police. It's called DVRT, Domestic Violence Response Team. This is what I always say. It is safer to stay. It is safer to stay. So if someone is experiencing that now, and you're in a relationship or it's going on in your home, it's true. It usually is safer to stay. And that's why you have to, come to a belief that you no longer want to tolerate this and you no longer accept it. And then you formulate a plan or an exit strategy. And that's anything in life. If you're tolerating something, you need to start formulating an exit strategy.
I just want to clarify something, and then Tracy is in the green room. We're going to bring her in. Are you saying that the belief is that it's safer to stay, or are you saying literally it's safer to stay?
It's both. It is both. In a lot of cases, it is literally safer to stay, but you have to find a safe exit strategy. That's
Okay.
for
I
sure.
just want to say that because, you know, there's so many different people watching from so many different backgrounds, and I don't want somebody to think that you're suggesting that if you're in a domestic violence situation that you're saying it's safer to stay and that's your advice.
No, not at all.
No, you're saying the mental, the mindset rather is that it's safer to stay than it is to leave because you're afraid of the consequences of leaving. So I understand that.
Right. That's right.
I just wanted to clarify that so that no one that's watching, you know, that's a very, very sensitive topic. My mother said she sees that every day at work. We have a lot of people writing comments in. I just want to bring Tracy in because we can stay on as long as we want. I don't care. I'll stay on longer than an hour, but I just don't think people are going to want to.
Finally! Oh my God. You know what? Thank you you girls for being so cool about this. And Dawn, you know what this means. You're just going to have to come on again because I screwed this up.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Donna, what were some of the comments? I'm so curious to what people are saying.
We definitely have a comment. Like I said, my mother said that she sees it every day at work. Mary said, which I love, that once your subconscious believes in it, the subconscious will do everything to manifest that dream. Frank said he was once in a mentally abusive relationship and you don't feel like you can get out of it. But once you're out of it, you can ask yourself, why didn't I leave sooner?
Sure. I mean, hindsight is 20/20 and you never want to beat yourself up. I mean, I was doing that in the beginning, but I no longer do that. You know, you forgive yourself and you move on. And that's it.
Right. And then let's see. We had Mary also said something that she heard something about Tony Robbins. Where did it go? But she said your story is way cooler. So if you would love to, at the end, you could definitely go through the comments and reply, because I know, Dawn, you're a major replier to the comments. I think that'd be amazing. I want to give Tracy some time since she was so stuck in that traffic. I want to make sure we have a little time to talk to her too tonight.
Yeah.
What is up?
How are you? I'm so bummed because this is so interesting, and I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to be on this conversation. And there's so many questions about it, and so incredible. And everything's good here, except for being stuck in traffic, and getting all the COVID testing done and everything, just to be sure.
Sure.
So it's like it. I don't know if you have both been through it yet, but as far as getting tested. They tell you that it's going to take a certain amount of time, and it's like, I should have known. It took way longer. But it's okay. I feel okay as long as we're getting tested and finding the information out. But yeah. Anyway, back to your conversation.
Absolutely.
No, well, we want to know well, here. Okay, so Mary said, I came to see Tracy, but I'm grateful to hear Dawn's story.
Yay. See how that always works?
It always works out.
You get exactly what you need. You get exactly what you need. And I love what you were saying about, and again, I came on the tail end of it, but when you were talking about, you get what you tolerate in life and in a relationship. And someone brought up Tony Robbins, and there's a quote that I have that I always remind myself, and it's so simplistic, but it's raise your standards, because so many times you just go, all right, I'll do that, or I'll take that. And it's like, at what point in your life do you say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not taking that behavior. I'm not taking that job. I'm not taking that pay rate, whatever it is, where you just say to yourself, wow, what? And you may have touched on this, Dawn, but what's your theory regarding, because you deal with domestic violence, which is, it's a similar kind of mindset as far as what do you think triggers people to finally say, that's it? Is it that, in your experience, as far as, okay, now I've taken this much? And it's hard for domestic violence because that's obviously a physical thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very sensitive topic. It's different for every person. I mean, we should do a whole show on this Donna and Tracy, especially in October, because that's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which a lot of people don't know about because it's overshadowed by breast cancer awareness.
Sure.
Ooh, how do I answer
Well, let me ask it in a better way, Dawn, because I'm not even, so many people that I know, it's not a physical relationship that it's a mental or something where either someone's holding you back, someone is not supportive, and I see it happen in circumstances, even with friends or family members, and you just say, wow, what is going to trigger that person to finally see what's happening, as far as what it's just, and you guys may have talked about this.
Yeah, I think it has to get so painful. In some cases it gets really scary for people, and there are circumstances where others come into the situation and everything has to end.
But I guess what I'm asking you, Dawn, is what you were saying, you have to prepare yourself mentally. What do you have any suggestions of things that you give when you're counseling, as far as
I do. And I guess, it's very complex and it's very delicate. And I went through a lot of training with this, and I explained what the cycle of abuse is. Basically, it's, there's a honeymoon period, then there's tension, then there's the actual, explosion, and then it goes back to the honeymoon period. So it's like, I'm sorry, and everything smooths out and it levels off, and then it builds up with that person, then they explode, then the act takes place, and then it's, I'm sorry. But what happens in domestic violence, and this is where I think people make a decision, as you say, sometimes they don't decide, other people decide for them, that window that of where leveling off is gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So and the honeymoon period gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So if you can imagine a circle, and there's 3 colors in the circle, and red is the violent action, that red part, that 1/3 becomes,
larger and larger,
5/8, and then 6/8, and then 7/8, and it results in 3 things. It results either in a homicide, a suicide, or somebody's going to be incarcerated. I don't know how we got on this.
Right, but you know why, ladies? Because I'm asking, it's not even about domestic violence. What I'm asking, which I thought was an interesting theory that Dawn that you both brought up, was in your life learning to get yourself out of that pattern. Meaning, I'm not talking about domestic violence.
No,
I'm talking about someone that puts themselves in a scenario where they say to themselves, why am I letting this happen again? Meaning, I'm not talking domestic violence.
It's tolerating.
Yeah, it goes back to tolerance, and I think it goes to that good girl behavior. So it's like, and we're women, so I say good girl, but it could be a man as well. So I'm not discriminating. But it's that good person, the good Samaritan, always wanting to be the good person and not wanting anyone to think negatively of you. So, again, I know exactly what Dawn is talking about when she said it's delicate. Sometimes you do it for other people. I can speak from my own experience, as a mother, without any specifics in my life, right? Because I don't want to, it's just I can get personal with certain things, and then there's certain things that I share just a certain level because, first of all, this isn't Barbara Walters on 2020. This is this is raw and this is real, but I have kids that are
Yeah, no. Right.
So I'm saying, for me, I could tell you that when I had to take care of me in my life, I tolerated a lot more things, going back to tolerating, until I had my kids. And one of my favorite examples of this is when I was younger, I'm not proud of it, but I smoked cigarettes sometimes, right? The minute I went to the doctor and found out I was pregnant, I would never smoke a cigarette again. Why? Because psychologically, I was pregnant. It could hurt the child. But the entire time of my life, it could have hurt me.
Right. Isn't that
But
funny?
until you find something of value, and in my case and in so many other cases of women and men, especially with children, I can use that as my example because I've experienced it. You start to realize your life is worth something, but if you don't see the value and your worthiness in your life because of circumstances of how you were raised or what you see of yourself or low self-esteem or something, then you have a child, for instance, using that as my personal example,
Yes.
I am like a bear. And if someone's going to do something to me that could possibly affect my children, I'll never let it happen.
Right.
Because for some reason, you start to see the value of human life differently when it's not you. If you were raised, sorry, my mom's watching. I don't mean anything negative towards her, but I'm saying if you were raised with a mindset and you were not raised in a very uplifting way, you don't see your value. This is exactly now kind of getting back on track to what this show started as. This is exactly why I think the conversation about manifesting, the conversation about learning how to write a script for your life, how to get what you deserve and deserve what you get should start at a much younger age. I think that I would say I talk about this talking to the kids in the morning when I read story time. I think that we are in a period right now of rebirth with this whole quarantine. I think everyone is finding out that having this slowdown, this period where we've been forced to put our lives in this like stop. My analogy for that has been how many of us watching, how many of here, the three of us, have lived our lives. And Tracy, I know you drive everywhere. Dawn's going in the city for doing makeup. I was running like a lunatic to the point where I mean, like, I don't know what day it is now because we're so slowed down. I didn't know what day it was before because it was like
so sped up. Right.
But I feel like life was going down a highway. Like picture yourself driving down the highway and you're driving and you're going the speed limit or 75 miles an hour, whatever the case may be. We've all done this. We're in a car and traffic stops dead. That was a quarantine. The traffic just completely stopped. You have no idea why. You can't see above you. You can't see ahead. The first few minutes, we're all like, oh, it's just traffic. Then you're stuck in the car for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now you start to get agitated. I feel like that was like April, May, and June. Now people's true colors are starting to come out. I can't imagine. Like there's so many things that go on in my mind. Now life is starting to open up, but you realize it's only opening up in one lane. So it's like now the aggravation is I'm never going to make it where I go, get to on time. Now bring that psychology back to domestic violence. Can you imagine what's going on in homes right now? There are families, there are children witnessing things that they've never witnessed because, hey, the good girl thing, like, mom and dad are going to argue, but we're going to wait till we drop little Johnny off to school. Now Johnny's not going to school.
Right.
So I think so much is changing and the dynamics of home life is changing. The dynamics of people. You see the anger, that visceral response that comes along when you see somebody walking around with their mask like this.
Yep.
Makes me absolutely bananas.
I know.
I've never wanted
or just down on their chin.
Like down on their chin. Okay, that's not cool. But you're in a store. I was in Home Depot, and workers are walking around.
I know.
And I want to yell, like, pull up your mat. The visceral response. Now, why did I say all of this? Because I'm listening to everything that you guys are discussing, and I'm saying that there's a human condition that we need to start to recondition and start to teach peace, and we need to start to teach meditation. It doesn't have to be hokey pokey. It just has to be this bringing yourself back to center.
That's right.
Because if you start to listen to yourself clearer, you won't tolerate things as long.
That's right.
But you know what? There's that feeling of, again, it's really hard to come. I have so many concrete examples. I just would like to keep my business. And
no. We're not talking about. You don't have to relate it personally.
But you know what I mean? Like you're at a restaurant, you're at the diner. Let's go back to the diner because nobody here cares about that scenario personally. But you go to the diner, and how many times have you said, "I've been with you, Tracy. I'll have an unsweetened iced tea and an extra glass of ice." And the waitress comes over, she brings your iced tea, but she doesn't bring your ice. Okay. So then she comes back over and she's like, I'm going to come take your order. Yeah, can you please don't forget my glass of ice? Okay, I'll be right back. And she leaves and she comes back and she's like, so what's your order? No glass of ice. I know that that's a really little analogy.
Sure.
But
I get it.
But you could tolerate that.
Right.
But then we're at this place now where that glass of ice, people are like, where's my goddamn glass of ice? And it's like crazy. But with abusiveness and going with what Dawn said, it's just like,
it is about raising your standard, like Tracy said. You know, if I was in a restaurant, I asked for something, I would just ask again, you know, and be very polite about it. Tracy, you were asking something about my story and I forgot. I wanted to answer it. Do you remember what you were asking?
No, I was saying, yes, when you're counseling women now, now, I know you're counseling about domestic violence, but what I'm trying to say is there's got to be tricks in.
I'm just an advocate.
Right, an advocate, but you're counseling them in a way, meaning helping them.
Helping them.
Do you find there's any coping mechanisms that would translate to? It doesn't matter the type. I'm talking about just being in a cyclical rut. That's really what we're talking about. Like domestic violence is a totally different ball game. But I'm saying when I came in earlier and you're talking about tolerance. And what you allow in your life is what you will receive. And so are there any tricks to the trade? Meaning, so you find yourself tolerating a behavior, and I'm not talking abuse, but just a behavior of say it's a friend. Like I could go, you know, it's a friend that is reacting to you in a certain way that you're like, I don't understand why their behavior is this. They're a friend, and it feels like so strange, and how do I cope with it? Meaning a lot of times as good girls we'll go, okay, we'll just, you know, I'm going to let that go.
Right.
I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go again. And then I'm going to let that go again. And then I'm going to let that go. Like I have one person in my life that, do you ever meet someone who minimizes anything that you do? Meaning you do something and they're like, oh, that's, you know, and you're like, wait a minute. I just built the Taj Mahal, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And but then you say to yourself, but you're allowing that behavior because you keep accepting it.
I think if you listen to it or you know, you participate in the conversation, then you are, you know, in a way tolerating it, you're accepting the behavior. But you know, obviously I'm not a psychologist at all, but one of the things that I've noticed throughout the years that when it comes to anyone that has a mental illness or disorder, it is very difficult to actually tolerate that person because they either have something biologically going on with them, or, you know, they have manifested some type of disorder in their life, and they're not the best communicator, and they're not their behaviors aren't something that you're willing to put up with. I guess
right.
I've learned stay away. You know, I'm raising my vibration, so I'm not attracting that into my life. And I don't attract abusive people in my life. I've raised my standard. I've raised my vibration. And if someone is talking to me like that, like a friend or an acquaintance or a family member, I will give them like a minute of my time, and then I move on because I'm not interested really in what you're saying. I love what Joel Osteen says. He says, I say hi and bye with the same hands. And I practice that all the time. And you know, when I talked to my therapist about this too, and he said, Dawn, at your age, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
He said, at your age, you should only be around the people that you love. And I'm like, oh, what an amazing concept. That's so true. I have a choice to decide who I give my time to.
Exactly. Frank said people who minimize things you do who are controlling, who are negative. It all stems from their insecurity.
Absolutely. Oh, I know that I do know.
I do think that people that do that, Tracy, are controlling in a passive way. So that is their way. So it's not like they're a boisterous controller where they're like telling you, you know, what to do or putting you down. they minimize. So then you do exactly what you said. You're like, oh, wow. Because then you're like, oh, well, I don't get it. Like, why? Or was I talking too much about myself? Or, I mean, it's just another way for somebody who's insecure. That's their defense mechanism, I really think.
Well, I want to ask Dawn this because, Donna, we talk about this. Dawn, as you know, the name of the show, Practical Magic, and I always like to ask about the practicality. So if you two could talk about literally when you say you're raising your vibration, what are you literally doing? So everyone out there is like, yeah, I'd love to raise my vibration. What the heck does that mean?
I pray / meditate, however you want to call it. I definitely connect with my higher power and source energy. And I ask, and I have to be open to receiving. And that's really the hardest part. It's like, okay, well, I'm asking, but then it's like, okay, am I ready to receive it? So prayer and meditation, some people say like, well, I sit there for 5 minutes and I close no, I pray all day. I talk to God all day long. I know my husband does too. Like, he's very spiritually connected as well. That's another thing. I raised my vibration. I found someone in my life that's just so amazing, that is very spiritual, that's very connected. He's generous. He cares about other people. He's like everything that I want, and in a way, everything that I am as well. So again, like attracts like. So what you put out is what you receive.
Right. That's a great way to do it. Donna, what do you say? When you say
I find, like, seriously practical ways of doing it would be find a song that you love, put that on the radio, like on the radio. If you are, I don't watch the news. I just don't. For me, I don't work because I am very much an empath. And I feel so much of what goes on, and it follows me throughout the day. Yesterday, to be really honest, I spent the day in my baby pool, and my daughter was like laughing at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I did everything I had to do, and for the day." And I literally sat listening to music that I love. I love country music, and I listened to country music and sat in the baby pool. And I will tell you, psychologically speaking, I make no bones about saying I go to therapy and I love therapy, and he's a genius. But he will reiterate to me, because I used to go into therapy and say, it's so crazy. I got this really cool idea for a joke, or I got this really cool idea for a business, but I'm always in the shower when I get it. And he's the first person that ever explained to me the reason why that happens is water is a very spiritual connection to being in utero. And like, why so many people, when they feel sad, go to the beach or go in the pool or go and sit. Why do you think a lot of people sit and they say, I'm going to go soak in a tub? If you ever realize that so many things in life that bring you joy, peace, or comfort you're connected to water.
Absolutely.
Drinking water can make you feel better. Like water is like something that really, really we need in our body and around our body. So,
and it's no, what's the word? No coincidence that baptisms are done in water. You don't get baptized.
And you have that too.
Yeah.
You get dunked in water, and water is very spiritual and
very cleansing. But so for me, it's music. I love to be around like-minded people. And honestly, I listen to Abraham Hicks, and I love Abraham Hicks every day. I listen, but I do when I talk about what I do for the breathing, and I'm like, I ground my feet. You ground. You're part of the earth, and you get that feeling, and you recognize the fact that where you're sitting, where anyone right now is sitting, we take for granted that we are being held up, like on whatever it is. I don't care if it's a cardboard box, a $300 chair, $3,000, piece of furniture. But it's like we literally are lifted by whatever you're sitting on. You put your feet on the earth, and it's like you just have to become like aware of where you are, and really just focus and really take a deep breath in, and like enjoy it. Listen to the silence around you, or if there's noise. I mean, it's amazing what can happen if you just like focus and just get peaceful and align yourself.
That's right.
Yeah,
I agree. And for anybody that doesn't know Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks, Jerry Hicks, Esther and Jerry are married couple, and Esther,
he passed away.
Transmute. What's that?
He passed away, and she channels.
Jerry passed away recently, right?
I think it's been a couple. Yeah, I mean,
a couple years.
A couple years. So she channels entities that
collective consciousness of Abraham.
Right, and that's the name that they give. Right. Is Abraham, so humans can understand.
Right.
Now, is Abraham one person or
no, the collective consciousness of yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a collective consciousness. I was exposed to Esther Hicks, I want to say in 2004, 2003. And I was given some CDs by a client and I started listening to it. And I was like, oh, whoa, this is really heavy.
Right. It's a lot to take in the first time you hear her.
Yeah. And then I went back to her, I would say within the last, I want to say 5 years. And I feel very connected now. It's all about timing too, the right time, the right place, your vibration, where you are. And what, like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes, right.
For anyone that wants to listen though to Abraham Hicks, because I know I've talked about this with Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
She does on YouTube. If you look it up, what I look up and I have in my queue is Abraham Hicks, no ads. ADS, no ads, so there's no commercials, because there's nothing more disruptive than when you're with your eyes closed and it's like all of a sudden you're connected to the earth and they're like, and if you need Viagra, and you're like,
wait a minute, what's just happening?
I'm like, what's happening? In all honesty, I would love to it's not a challenge, but to anyone out there that is curious as to what we are talking about when we talk about Abraham Hicks, I would love for you to do an experiment. And the experiment is this. If you go to Abraham Hicks on YouTube, I am in no way, shape affiliated with Abraham Hicks or get a kickback from Abraham Hicks or anything like that. But
I wish.
I wish. I've seen her live and it's incredible live. And I could tell. Can I tell a quick story about that?
Yeah.
So I go to Abraham Hicks and I went with fellow comedian Suzanne Linfonte. And we get there, we stay overnight the night before, and we get there and I'm like, we are sitting in the front row. And Suzanne, who's there at Abraham Hicks, is like, no, I'm like, we're sitting in the front row. So I like Price is Right myself up in the front, and I get us in the front row. And who are we sitting next to but this beautiful woman? She's Greek. And I'm like, oh, I don't know who she is. We're talking. Peter Marilakis, who is one of my clients, who is on the fire team for Tony Robbins, the one that got me to go to Tony Robbins. It's his relative. So that's on my left. On my behind us or in front of us was a bunch of hairdressers, and they were all there as a team. The woman's name was Donna. I had the chills. Look at my arm. Then I run into my client going to the bathroom. I run into this woman, Maria, and then I run into Elaine Williams. Like, we are nowhere near home.
That's crazy.
Because it all attracts you. It's like attracts like.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I want to say about my challenge or what have you, if you want to, and thank you, Periscope. We got a really nice comment from Periscope. Somebody named Jay Bird said, "Hello, beautiful souls. I just joined this app about an hour ago and I'm so pleased." Awesome. Chris Casey is here. He says, "I meditate. There are certain noises does not make me sleep. Dead silence is awful." That is so true, Chris. You should definitely check out Abraham Hicks.
Yes.
The point that I'm making is what I find is incredible is there's so many little snippets now. They break it down so you don't have to just listen to an hour or 2 hours worth.
Right.
And let's say I wake up and I know my alarm's going to go off in a half an hour. I'll find one that is maybe 22 minutes long or something so that I have a little extra time in case I do kind of drift off. I allow myself to drift off. Don't beat myself up for it. I allow myself to really get into it. But every single time I do it, I swear it's relevant to something going on in my life.
Sure. And that's no coincidence. And that's what's so interesting. It was interesting. Someone put up a quote today and said, oh God, wait, I'm going to paraphrase it, but it was a quote from Albert Einstein that said, coincidence is God's way of working anonymously.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Yes,
Which I thought was an amazing quote, and I was like, oh, I'm writing that down.
That is also in the new movie,
The Secret one?
The Secret, the new movie. That line is not verbatim, but I didn't know that was an Einstein quote.
Yeah.
It's a woman that doesn't believe in it, the man that's teaching, and she said, oh, it's just coincidence. And he said the same thing, and I guess they got that from Albert Einstein. He said coincidence is just God's way of working his magic without, with being anonymous or something.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But at the same time, Mary wrote synchronicity is mindful coincidence.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
You ever
That
think
is.
of somebody and then the phone rings or a text message comes through and it's just like, oh yeah, these things happen so often to me where I'm just like, yeah, of course they called.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I forget who, it might have been, oh gosh, I think it was Joel Osteen, but it was maybe Wayne Dyer. But there was one thing that I thought was great. What Aunt Cecile was just saying, where God puts stuff in your path, including downtime, and you need to listen to it. Whereas I think it was it's either Wayne Dyer or Joel Osteen was saying, sometimes something will happen where you can't find a key that you know where you put it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then you find out that there was a huge accident on the highway where you would have been had you found your key at that time.
Absolutely.
And that's no coincidence. That's God's way of being like, okay, slow it down. So now it's so interesting. I used to get so uptight over things like what just happened. If I'm stuck in traffic and I'm supposed to be somewhere, and I would freak out and I'd make myself crazy and everyone in the car crazy and yelling at people on the road. Now when things like that happen, I just go, okay, for whatever reason, I'm not supposed to be where I'm supposed to be, right where I am here. And and it just makes your life completely different because you're not freaking out about it. You're like, all right. And another thing that they say, which I think is such a huge thing that we need to talk about so much,
so much, right?
But keeping your mind open for signs, like allowing your mind to be open. By the way, Donna, I do have to tell you that in the last 3 days, I must have seen, I'm not even exaggerating,
dragonflies,
like 500 of them. I never see them.
True. I see them everywhere.
See them. It might be dragonfly like mating season or something that we don't know about. But it's so cute. I never see them. This weekend, I saw them everywhere. Wow. Bugs flying by my head.
And the last time we were on the phone is when I'm on the phone and the dragonfly, and I took pictures and I put it on Facebook, was coming toward me. And I was on the phone with Tracy. She's like, hang up and take pictures. But I was like, in a way, I was actually happier to share that moment with you,
right,
and to hang up because I know you heard my excitement, right, and I know that you were excited, but that's another way to raise your vibration. Great thing that you just said that. Go out into nature. Get in touch with nature. Go take a walk in the woods and just go outside. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just it's like unbelievable if you can get outside and stand in the middle of the woods, right? I know this sounds a little kooky.
No, not at all. I love it.
And Mary, she just said, watch for dimes, hug from heaven. Absolutely. I always said that. That's got to be another topic for another show.
Yeah, signs.
I dive for pennies. My kids are like, Mom, really? You're falling all over the ground for pennies. Because I was taught, and this came from my paternal grandfather, that when you find money, it's a sign that the universe will always take care of you.
Yep, that's what Wayne Dyer says.
That you'll never have lack. And I believe, I dive for pennies. I literally do. If I see one, I pick it up.
Yep.
No, but a dime is like huge in my family, Mary, because
a dime.
No, because my grandfather passed away, and when my grandfather passed away, forest bathing. Mary is saying, Shinran Yoko forest bathing.
That's a Japanese. It's called forest bathing, where they just go in. It's just basically walking in the woods, but they call it forest bathing, and they take it very seriously in Japan.
I love that.
Yes.
Wow.
I love that. My aunt says her dad drops dimes for her since he passed away 57 years ago. But the quick story is my mother, it's an incredible story. Both of you know my mom. I don't know, Dawn, the last time if you were ever in my childhood home, but I know Tracy's been there. The dining room table is where it has always been, even though there was a wall that is, not there anymore.
Okay.
And my mother, after my grandfather passed away, was sitting at the dining room table with her girlfriend, and they were having a cup of tea because she was like really upset, and obviously her dad passed away. And they're sitting there, and all of a sudden, as if dropped out of thin air, a dime in the middle of the four of them sitting there. It was my mother, her friend Mare, her friend Sue, and her friend Anna. And a dime dropped out of the sky into the middle of the dining room table, and they were all like,
"What?"
That's really supernatural.
So they thought that it was Anna's son, who actually was in the living room, being like a scutchy kid because he wanted to go home or whatever. So her reaction, that's how much it, like, Anna got up and was like, Robert, and got up to look, and he was sound asleep.
Wow.
The four women that were there. Now, Anna, I don't really know so much, but when my mother was really sick in the hospital and she was in a coma and everything, we all took turns like going and taking care of my mother. Like, they helped me out. Mare was like amazing, like amazing. She helped me out so much with my mother because my kids were really little. I was running my business. And when I couldn't be in the hospital, my mom's friend Mare was there, who, ironically, I bought a house across the street off of Craigslist without even knowing that we are now neighbors, whatever. That's a totally different story.
I love it.
Your house was bought off of Craigslist?
Yes. And the people I bought my house from.
Another episode, real estate.
The house that the people I bought my house from, you know what their last name was? Jinx. And I feel like I believe in luck and everything. So when I met them and they were like, I believe in signs so much that I was like, you have to, I want to buy the house. I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, what's your last name? They're like, Jinx. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. Because I know I'll never be jinxed in this house because the jinx is leaving. So now the dime thing, right? I'm not even kidding.
Tracy snored it.
Yeah, I did snort. That was a good one. Write that one down, Donna. The jinx is leaving.
I can remember it. But the dime thing, ready? So my friend Mare, we're waiting for like a serious test to come back from my mother. And we're in the cafeteria at the hospital, and I had to go to pick up Courtney. She went to morning kindergarten or something. And I went to the school to go get her. And what we used to say is, when each of us finds a new dime that was during the time that my mom was really ill, let's keep them, and then we'll have them mounted into like a necklace, right? We're going to keep them. And I looked at Mare, my right hand to God, and I said, the only problem with me is I really prefer costume jewelry. I went to get my daughter from school, and I opened my car door. I looked down, and what's down? A play school plastic dime.
Wow.
So I found my costume jewelry dime. And it's in my jewelry box, and I never got rid of it. It's a little plastic dime. I carried that thing back to the hospital, and I was like, Mare, you're not going to believe what I found outside of my car door. We had the conversation. This is what I mean. There's
so many signs, and you have to be aware of them.
You have to be aware of them.
Chalk them up as, the coincidence.
You pay attention.
Weird.
I'm telling you, you pay attention every day, you will see.
It's all over, all day long. It almost gets to a point. I remember when you were, I think the first show with Kim, you guys were obviously talking about manifesting, and I wrote in, I said, I manifest so much that sometimes it scares me because it just really comes true and it really happens.
Yes. Mary, yes. I don't know what you're talking about. She said, I love that. May I add it to my story? I don't know what story you're doing, but
yes.
I mean,
yes, and just yes and it. Yes.
Yes, paying attention, being present. Now, have you ever seen this book by Pam Grout?
Yeah, I've read it. It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
No.
Out there, it's 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments that prove your thoughts create your reality.
Oh, maybe I saw it online.
E² by Pam Grout. I've had this book forever because I have a focus issue. So reading for me is really a challenge. But somebody told me about this and I wanted to try it. So I bought the book and I put it on my nightstand. Never even read it, whatever. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was talking about manifesting with somebody else. I don't remember who it was, but I know it was not that long ago because I wound up giving it to Tracy because Courtney had a copy.
Right.
And I said, oh my gosh, I can't wait. One of my clients was telling me about E squared. I have to order it off Amazon. And I walked up into my room and I must have ordered it like a year or two ago and I forgot. And I'm like, oh, look at that. It's already here. And I'm only halfway through it, but whatever. But that is like something I wanted to share because if people are wondering how to continue this during the week when we're not around, that's a great book.
That would be a fun thing for us to do as a group. We could each, I don't have the book, I could get the book and we could start doing the 7 things and see what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should. We should.
Like, again, do things and show them because that's what's so important is people seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I just, again, the whole point of the show, Practical Magic, is like, what's the practicality of this? What are you practically doing? What is your everyday thing that you do? And Dawn, to your point, when you say you're praying all day,
Yeah,
you take that time to when you took that time to meditate at first, is meditation for you easy or like most of us where we're like, oh, okay.
I do like meditating, and like Donna, I like that relaxation time where, you know, the same thing. I play the YouTube videos, I relax. But I don't believe that God is, you know, a special time and place. God is everywhere, all day long, forever and ever. It's, you know, so you don't need to be somewhere specific. And you don't need to have like this perfect situation to connect with him. You can connect with him anywhere you are. I mean, there are people on this planet that are in horrible situations and they instantly connect with him. You know, you could be anywhere, anytime, and he's there, and you just talk and you just ask.
Yeah. And for those people that don't feel like they connect with the God word, that's one of the reasons why I love the Abraham Hicks, because it's non-secular. It's completely universal, speaking about source. So you could.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many words, right? And I think that's where like religion, like we go back to these rules, like, oh, say it like this or believe it like that. So whatever word you want to use, energy, source, the one, God, you know, whatever name or she, whatever name that you want to give it, that's, you know, your preference. And that's why I don't participate in an organized religion anymore, because I know I have the God particle in me. I know I'm with spirit, right? Inspirational it means in spirit. You are connected. And I'm connected all day long. And no one's going to tell me that I'm not, and no one should tell you that you're not, and that you're praying wrong or you're meditating wrong. You know, no, you sit like this, or you cross your legs, or you do this, or you have statues, or you have, you know, whatever it is, you do what's right for you. And if having statues in your home, if having a crucifix, if, you know, whatever your religion is, if you have a Buddha, you know, if you eat a certain
I have everything.
If you eat
culture, no, I have everything. I literally have a Buddha. I have, you know, a cross, a crucifix. But, you know, I just want to say, my aunt, talking to God doesn't have to take a lot of time. It can be as simple as thank you, that was cool, and then go on to the next moment.
Absolutely.
And that is why I truly, we talked about the same thing with gratitude, starting the day out with gratitude. Gratitude is humongous. And thank you is one of the most simplistic prayers you can actually even say. So like in the morning, I wake up and I will literally just be like, thank you for allowing me to wake up another day. You know,
right.
Simple. But
I have a girlfriend and she sends me a gratitude list all the time, and we go back and forth and we type 5 things that we're grateful for. And
that's cool.
You know, it could be as simple as, you know, I'm so grateful for this glass of water. You know, how many times have you been thirsty in your life? You know, so when you do have and when you receive, always be grateful. You know, the food that we eat. I used to, you know, my husband and I, for a while, we were into this kick, I guess, of like praying out loud over our food. And then we kind of stopped doing it. But we do it quietly in our mind. I will just take a second and I just look at my food and I just say thank you to myself, and then I eat. So it's like my blessing. And I am so thankful. I am so appreciative, because if you've ever felt hungry in your life, and I hope that you are blessed someday with the feeling of hunger and thirst, because then you're going to have more compassion for people that don't have those things that we have. You know, we didn't have electricity for a few days, and I've been taking cold showers. And I actually thought about, homeless people that haven't showered for like a month, and I'm like, God, thank you so much for this shower. I'm so grateful. It's the little things in life. The universe here is the little and the big.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that 110%.
Are you grateful that Chris is washing the dishes?
I am so. Oh, can you hear that?
I hear him. Yeah, I hear something.
He's in the kitchen
that is some
working away.
That's some good segue, right? I'm like this. Just squinting because I'm starting, like, because the sound is there, and I'm like, what's happening?
Well, that's actually a really good topic, because a lot of times, people complain about chores in life, like, oh, I have to do the dishes. Oh, I have to clean up after my husband. Oh, I have to clean up after the kids. Be lucky you have a husband to clean up after. Be lucky that you have kids to clean up after.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to like check myself.
Well, be lucky that you have to clean up.
Yeah. No, I love. They also, it's all the same people, but they say a good way to remind is to say, I get to do this.
That's right.
I get to pick up my kids. I get to go to work. I get to have food. And when you do that, it's just like a slight change of words, but it makes all the difference.
And God loves that. God is only love, in my opinion. Source is only love. There's no fear. There's no guilt. There's no shame. Oh, another thing that I believe, and this could be a whole nother show, and I forgot about this, is near-death experience.
I think we're going to have to make that another. Well, we're at an hour and a half. I don't know where we're at.
Yeah, we're going to have to come back and do another show. But I am dying to do, not literally. I'm not literally.
Dying to do a near-death experience show?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm let me put it in a better way. I'm excited to do that. Will you come back and do that, Dawn? Because
I've met people that have. And the one thing that they say is God is just all love. There's no negativity at all.
Right.
So God wants us to say thank you. God loves that. The universe loves that, for sure.
Well, thank you for being, you're amazing. Would you promise you will come back and do that?
No, she's coming back.
Okay, all right. I really want to do that show, because she's
coming back.
Fascinating.
I love near-death experiences. I love people that have had them, and I'm fascinated. And I'm like sitting at, like a little puppy. Tell me all that happens.
Right.
And it's pretty awesome.
Yes.
See how nice. Yes to more of all, please.
Thank you, Trisha. Whoop whoop. That's awesome. All right. Go ahead.
We're ready to how we end our show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to go first and tell me when to stop?
Dawn's going first. She's the princess.
Okay.
First time.
You two are the queens. The queens. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put you both on the spot. All right. Right now.
Is it about makeup? I'm screwed. Go ahead.
Not about that. It's about when we do the Girls Gone Green and I do your little song, Tracy, that you're supposed to write. And I'm wearing the cowboy hat. What's her name?
Oh yeah, she's gonna. Yeah. Are you ready for some football?
You're gonna be what's her name? Oh my God! Wait, she's married to Tim McGraw.
I don't know, but we're
Faith Hill. Faith
Hill's one, and then no, it's not Faith Hill. It's the other one.
Are you ready for some football?
Yes, I'm all ready. Oh, see, there he is. Football. There he is.
There he is.
Manifested him.
He's telling me to wrap it up.
I know. See, I knew that. I knew that.
Okay, do the card. Go ahead. Here we go.
Stop.
Okay. Are you ready? Self-acceptance, Dawn.
Yes, I feel accepted being here.
Mary said it's Carrie Underwood. Thank you, Mary, because I couldn't think. She's right. And celebration.
That's right.
Celebrate your self-acceptance. I love it.
That's right. All right, I'm going to shuffle freaking out, T-Lock.
All right, stop.
Oh, boy, that was quick.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Children.
And I see twins there. Are there 2 of them there?
2 of them.
I do see twins. They're not connected at the head, are they?
No, they're not.
Just checking.
And divine timing.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey
Perfect.
now.
Wow, that is like a package right there.
Hey now.
You
All
got
right.
something to tell us?
What?
You got some news for us?
I wish I did. No, I'm working on it. Working on it. So if anybody doesn't have kids that they want, write me a letter. I have a P.O. box. You can send your kids to me, and I'll raise them for a couple years for you.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll be very funny.
They'll be very funny. They might be a little messed up. No, they won't be. I'm just kidding.
Who's not? Who's not though?
Just kidding.
All right, I'm gonna. You know what I just got the taste of? An actual cherry with a pit in it. Why did I just get that flavor?
Huh,
That's
it's
so weird. I
interesting.
just got the sensation.
Of a cherry with a pit in it.
Cherry with like a real cherry with a stem, like not a
I
maraschino.
had one today. I had cherries today.
Did you
Real
really?
cherries. Yeah. With pits and
Yes.
yeah.
And you had a bunch of them.
Are you done yet?
Did you spit them into a napkin and throw them away, or did you spit them out into the grass?
I put them on the grass.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, swear to God. Here's what I did. I put them on the sand, and a seagull ate one, and then I go, wait a minute. Don't cherries have arsenic? Is that going to kill it?
See that? How weird is that? I got a sensation of a cherry.
That is
All right.
weird.
Wow. Jay said I clean with cherry disinfectant today. And then Mary would like to know, Tracy, if you take 18-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And
Yes, that's a totally different matter.
Mary wants me to pull a card for her. Mary, guess what? I'm going to pull this card for myself and anybody else that's watching that would like a card pulled for them. Are you
All
ready?
right.
This is
Yeah.
for us, you guys.
You going to get Mary to tell you to stop?
Well, then no, because there's a delay.
Oh.
So
okay.
I stopped, and when she said it, and I saw it, and I'm gonna pull it for us. Okay, you
This is
ready?
for you, Mary. Go ahead.
For us. What's up, Russ? You're such a handsome
My
son.
whole family is like, wrap it up, Mom.
Answered prayer.
Ooh.
And
They're
then
like-
the bottom card is forgiveness. Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
a good one. That's a good one.
Is that cake he's eating? What's that? He's making everybody hungry.
He's
That looks
young.
good.
It's a burger or something.
A hamburger.
Oh, I get excited. I made a cake in my
He
head.
said a brownie. It's not a brownie.
Oh,
I'd rather eat meat. I'd rather have a burger than a brownie.
Not
I don't
me.
like
I'd rather have a brownie every day of the week.
Let's see. I'm gonna pick one last one for all of us. Oh, Frank wants the 8th card. Now Frank knows that I love that stuff. All right, hold on, Frank. First card, and then I'll do the 8th. All right, this is for the 3 of us and everybody watching. Nature. Hello. What did
We
talk
said
about?
it.
Get out there. If this underneath card is music, I'm gonna freak out.
Get out there, get naked, people. Get into nature.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Power. I love that one.
You've got the power.
All right. So Frank, the 8th card. So that was the first. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dreams. It's time to go to sleep, everybody, and dream. We thank you so much for watching. We do. I mean, Dawn Maloney, you're the most amazing guest. I know your family wants you back for themselves. Isn't that nice?
Dawn, let them know
Oh,
that.
they're making faces at me. They're giving me dirty looks.
Oh my God! As long as they're not eating brownies behind you to make us all
Oh, you
jealous.
know what? I'm going to come back on because I know, Dawn, you have to go. Or I'm going to stay. People want cards. I'm going to stay and just read some cards.
Really? That's awesome.
That is awesome. Do your card reading. Wait, Dawn, you'll come back on the show, right?
Yes.
People,
I
okay.
know.
I'll stay.
So
Awesome.
much to talk about.
Awesome.
What
I
did you
know.
say, Ron? Not in the kitchen. He's
He's gonna have to build you a studio. That's all that there is.
Yeah, build me a studio too.
yeah. Build us a studio, honey.
Yes. All right. It's happening. We're manifesting it. Start manifesting that,
It's all in
Dawn.
the garage.
Hey,
know.
it's your she shed. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to stay and do cards for you guys.
Yeah.
But let's say goodnight to Dawn and Tracy. Thank you so much for being here. Again, this is Manifesting Money. We'll be back next week. I'm going to stay right here because I don't have a husband to go to. No one's washing my dishes. So I'm going to stay here and I'm fine with it.
Be good, you guys.
Good night, you guys.
Good
Love
night.
you.
So much.
Bye. Oh. Just kicked him out. All right, you guys, we're here for the late night people. I love the late night people. All right, let's see. All right, let's go back up. Let me see in the order that we got them. And thank you so much for all the kind words and comments. Love, love, love. Okay, so we have Jaybird. Clean. Let's see. Pull the 8th card, which I did for Frank. After that is Jay would love a card. Says my ex has stopped seeing our daughter since January. Would love a card. Okay. I love doing this. Are you kidding me? This is great. And if anybody else wants a card, you let me know. I'll pull cards. Psh, forget it. I love this stuff. Okay. Ooh, I also have other angel cards that I could totally read from too. I'm going to do one of each. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so this is for you, Jaybird. Let's see what this one is. Friendship. Ooh. And support. Ah, so that makes total sense for you. So because of the fact that you need some support and the friendship card, let me see what that exactly means. Let me see. I wonder why he stopped doing that. Probably, did he start dating somebody new? Not only are you changing on the inside, but your life is changing on the outside as well. Among these changes are your relationships with friends. Perhaps you fear that you no longer have common interests with old friends. Changes in friendships are natural. Know that God and the angels are with you. This card signifies that you are ready to receive new friendships and new people who mirror your intentions and interests. So surround yourself with people that are more like-minded. And I definitely think that you have to be the leading example for your daughter. And I'm sure that you are. And realize that your relationship with her is more important than the lack of relationship because you don't know why it's happening. Yeah, it's tough. It is, yes, it's not easy. I'm a single mom as well. So, ooh, Corey, you're in a monogamous relationship right now. Hit you with a card. I think since you want something relationship-wise, I will have to bring out my romance cards. Ooh, Mary, good night. It says you're going to bed. Thank you so much. Yeah, nature, so true, right? I love being outside and nature. This is for you, Pizza Corey. I love my friend Corey. One day I cannot wait to meet you in person. Okay, so Corey, here's what I'm going to say to you. You're going to tell me when to stop. And I know that there's a delay, but you know what? I'm going to stop shuffling when you say to stop shuffling. I can't even talk. And I'm going to do the 3-card spread for you. So I don't know. I think you're still there. My hair's got a little lavender in it right now. Interesting. Good night, Marissa. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. There's so much stuff there. And no, you're not doing anything wrong that you can't see it. You're on Periscope. So we are live right now on Facebook and on YouTube and on Periscope. So I think you'd only be able to see Periscope comments, and people from Facebook see Facebook, YouTube sees YouTube. It's kind of weird. Like, it's a streaming device that allows me to stream to everybody, but it separates the comments. Very interesting. But no, you're not doing anything wrong at all. But your face on your little emoji looks very sad. Maybe we should change it to something a little happier, because we don't want to manifest sadness. Okay, so Corey, are you ready? Playfulness. Ooh, to recapture the romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. What's going on, Corey? You're usually just judging by your pictures. You're a pretty fun person. But I know this is a stressful time. Definitely. Give your relationship a chance. So if that's what you were asking about, you should be working on your partnership. I know right now it's like very stressful times, but it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So I don't know if perhaps maybe you are fearful, or you're having a little bit of a commitment issue, or grass is greener on the other side issue. But this is saying that if you get your playfulness back, you should give your relationship a chance. It's definitely safe for you to love. I mean, unless, of course, you're in a place where it's abusive, then I would say don't do it. I haven't got Facebook, so I might find you on YouTube. My avatar is all hot and sweaty. Haha, that's funny. As long as it's not sad. So on YouTube, I am Donna V Comedy. Yes. Not as stressed as others. We just declared affections to each other within the past 2 weeks. Okay. Communication is the key to any relationship, Frank says. Let's just check what the bottom card is, because I always feel there's like a hidden message there. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. I hope that helped. I don't know. I could totally pull another universal card. I love these. These are the sweetest angel cards, and they're really healing angel cards. Are very, very simple, a really simple message, and I love them. They were a gift from a friend for my birthday. Actually, they were a gift from Kim, and Kim got these for me, my life coach, and they're a little bit different. They're just like these messages, almost like these little fortune cookie messages. You're welcome, Corey. So let's see what this one says. This also might be something like good for you. Yogi. So my dog doesn't understand that he just could come around the other way and the door is open. He just always scratches on the closed door. That just sounds like something. Where is he? I don't know where he is. I think he's trying to get out. And is Zach here?
Yeah. Oh, he ordered you cheesecake from the diner.
He did?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to have coffee and cheesecake with my kids. We're reading angel cards.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking to my people. Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and YouTube. My people. My people. I'll be down in a few minutes. They ordered me cheesecake. It's my daughter and her boyfriend. It's pretty sweet and awesome. My Twitter and Instagram tags say Optimus Prime. I love that. I love that. Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to pick a card. Think about where it is that you are thinking. I wonder if you guys can really help me manifest the spot. Let's see. I'm going to pick 3. I'm going to pick 3. The top, the bottom, and the middle. Hello to the off-camera folk. That's amazing. I love that. It's my 21-year-old daughter. Okay. So, Frank, here we go. I like to look with you guys too at first, and it's a surprise to me too. Clarity, huge. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in the blue of the sky. Feel a gentle breeze flow through you. There is peace. There is clarity. A magical healing has just taken place. A gift from your guardian angel. Oh, I love that. All right, Aunt Cecilia, you're next. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in the blue of the sky. Feel a gentle breeze flow through you. There is peace. There is clarity. A magical healing has just taken place. A gift from your guardian angel. I love that. The next one. You ready? Think global. You are being encouraged to spread your wings. Think outside the square. You are a citizen of the world. Expand your vision. Imagine the world within your heart. Embrace it. Surround it with love. Let it be, and so it will be. A citizen of the world. That's so cool. We always just think of ourselves from New Jersey or from wherever you are, but we are citizens of the world. That's cool. Okay, you ready? Trust. Huge. I know. Frank, you're so sweet. He said, this is awesome. We got addicted during the pandemic to hanging out with you every night, and we jones when you're on. Thank you. I miss you guys too. I never want to feel like I'm being intrusive on your lives now, because I feel like everybody's back to doing life, and I don't know. I'll be here as often as I can. I love it too. Trust. All will work out well. Oh, see, this is really good, actually. This is really good for Jay. All will work out well. We, your angels, are here to nurture, protect, and heal you. Trust in the healing power of our love. We love you more than you will ever know. Ooh, trust. I love that. I love it. Oh, the world just happens to revolve around New Jersey. I know, it feels like that. So, Aunt Cecilia, what deck do you want me to pull a card from you from, or the book of the Nuggets of Truth? So you tell me, do you want it from the angel cards or the healing? Well, I have this deck. I have many decks. Tell me. You're welcome, Jay. I also have with me my rose water spray, which makes you more intuitive. It's really good for opening up your clair senses. Yes. We know you spent a day in the pool yesterday. How was the rest of your weekend? I had an amazing weekend. Frank, you had an amazing weekend. I love that you had an amazing weekend. I worked Saturday, and I worked rather late because I had to make up for some of the time that I lost in the salon because of the power outages. Aunt Cecilia, this angel deck card, I'll hold it up if it's a yes. The healing. Okay. They're both healing. Uh-oh. Hey, how you doing, Susan? Long time no see. Thank you. Yeah, I went back to blonde. It's just a different shade. It's like all sorts of crazy right now. But, it's a work in progress, and I'm letting it grow out. It's getting so long right now for me. I don't know what to do with it half the time, but I love the idea of putting it up. So, okie doke, with the wings. All right. I'm going to shuffle, and then I'll wait till you say to stop. Yeah, this is such a fun, spiritual night, just of peace, and I love it. I love it. That was a great show. Dawn is amazing. And then Tracy was stuck in traffic. All right, let me think about my aunt really quick. I feel like she just said stop, but I feel like, oh, there it goes. That's so wild. I love it. There's a little delay. Okay, so I'll do the 3-card spread for you, but I'm going to show you the bottom card as well because I love the top and the bottom card. So your first card is playfulness, similar to our friend before. Playfulness is really important. Really important. Playfulness. Don't take yourself too serious. Surrender and release. Whatever you have going on right now, whatever you're beating yourself up for, whatever you're questioning yourself about, surrender and release it. Let it go. Get rid of it. It's holding you back. That's probably why the first card is playfulness, because when you are just stuck in the quagmire, or maybe you are involved in something that even you're upset about, it has nothing to do with you, it can really stunt you. So playfulness is really important. And now we shall find out the last card. Guardian Angel. Well, that is a sweet card to get. And perhaps it's your father that you mentioned before, or for Susan, I don't know who your guardian angel would be, because I know you said stop too. And can I benefit the please? Yes, more fun stuff. I don't know what my mother wrote. Can I benefit the please? So I don't know. Maybe she would like me to do it for her as well, and I will, but I don't know what she wrote. Can I benefit the please? And then the last underneath card is ideas and inspiration. I can only imagine that right now for my aunt, you need to do more fun stuff because you're so used to a life that you used to go and do things with the theater. I know that you are, yes, Mom, you could totally be next. I know that it's got to be really tough because of being home and, whatever's going on. But what's happening is this is when you should be really taking some ideas down from what you're feeling and be inspired by it and maybe perhaps get involved. I know I thought of you this weekend because a client of mine was talking about they do a Zoom choir. And yay! And there's a Zoom choir that she's involved with, where what they're doing is for church, they have someone who is conducting a piece. It gets sent to everyone, and then everyone goes on Zoom and sings it collectively. And it really made me think of you, because I know that you're so involved in, with your choir and singing. But yeah, new things are coming your way. I definitely agree with that. I think that's definitely what that is. Mom, you have to tell me when to stop. So this is for my mother. She's the next. If you would like to be next, you could just put next in the comments. I mean, I'm actually really enjoying this. And then I will be going in a few minutes because I hear there's cheesecake coming my way. No, but that, Susan, it's okay, because if it resonated with you, then that is good. That means you wrote stop at the same time as my aunt, and it's completely awesome. But okay, so I will actually do yours next, Susan. So I'm doing my mom's now, and then then you will be next, Susan. So I like to do the 3-card reading, and then I always like to show the underneath card at the end. So let's see. The first one for my mother is blessings. So something's going on where you're receiving some blessings. You should be recognizing them, focusing, paying attention on them. I don't know exactly what it is. It might not even be something I'm aware of, but blessings. You can see your angel and putting flowers over your house. So blessings are coming your way. Okay. Love you too, Aunt Cecilia. I'll see you soon. Support. Ooh, support. That's really cool. Yes. I love this. This is good because this, all right, good. This is definitely a way to be supported and be with a group. I don't know another way that you might be, but I don't know if it's at work, perhaps something's going on. Yes, that's so true. And friendship. So something's happening with some friendship. And let's see. Oh, you might be blessing somebody with the support of your friendship, like Patty DeMarco. I don't know. You're going to have to tell me if this makes sense to you. I don't know, because you didn't ask a specific question, and I'm not really sure. But let's see what the bottom card is. Ooh, enchantment. I'm your little unicorn. That's me. See? This is where you like to come and join the group, and you feel blessed that you can be here and see your daughter. I know. Listen to me being so silly. But yeah, all right. I think that's a pretty good one. It does make sense. Good. All right, I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to do one last thing for everybody. And then I'm going to go, because we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I could just talk. But I'm going to hold this book up again because it's so cool. It's Pam Grout, and it's E², and it's 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments that prove your thoughts create your reality. Yay! Hey, Jaybird is on there. AJ, I love it. Yay, you found me. Well, I will tell you this, Jaybird. Subscribe to my page on YouTube. For nothing else, you'll get to see all of the story times I've done, but you'll also get to see some of the wacky, crazy things I did during quarantine to make people laugh. And I will tell you, I did a lot of wacky, crazy things. Okay. I am going to pull one last card. And then, ooh. Okay, that's a good one. I feel like it's going to be good. Okay, this is my wish for everybody. Truth and integrity is the most important thing I can honestly tell you. I'm going to read to you from the book, which you can see I've had forever, but it's all cracked and stuff. Truth and integrity. Yes. Hey, Marie. Oh, Susan. Marie, tonight we were talking about Manifesting Monday, and we ended with some angel cards and just kept it going. So let's see what truth and integrity says here, because I totally love that card, and I love that that was pulled for everyone. You are guided to be very honest with yourself and to be true to yourself in all of your activities and actions. The angels say to you, let go of anything inauthentic and all activities that do not mirror your highest intention for yourself. If something in your life isn't working, be willing to release it to God and the angels. When we open our hands and release unhealthful situations with the divine light, that's when the divine light can enter. Miracles always follow when we surrender troubling conditions. You'll find that the job, relationship, health issue, or other circumstance heals rapidly in ways that you could never have imagined. All along the way, the angels will perfectly guide you to actions that will either help you replace the situation with something better or heal it entirely. Expect a miracle when you decide to be true to you. And then the bottom card. I always like to do a little alpha and a little omega. You know I love Archangel Michael. I have no idea what this bottom card is going to be. Let's just see. Miracles. Now, do you see how that works when you focus and you pay attention? Because what was the last line in the card, truth and integrity? Wait a minute. The last thing, and actually the funny part is truth and integrity is the last card, and it says expect a miracle when you decide to be true to you. And if you were looking for a sign right now, that to me is as bold as you can get. So let's read what the definition is in this card. This is the Doreen Virtue. I love this book, these cards. Miracles. Miracles are occurring all around you right now. Begin to notice them and you'll experience even more miracles. This card is the angel's way of telling you to expect a miracle. Perhaps you feel that you need one right now because you can't see any other way to a solution. Be open to allowing God to help you resolve your challenges in ways that will surprise you. You open the door for miracles when you become willing to surrender your fears to God. Visualize the angels carrying away the issue and feel yourself supported by God's wisdom and creativity. As you relax into the source, you are assured that blessings are surrounding you right now. Be open to a miracle coming your way. That is right. That is right. And you want to know? One of my favorite books that I have over here for story time and the sound effects. And AJ, my new friend, just said, in the words of Elsa from Frozen, let it go. And what do I have right next to me? Guys, you can't even make this stuff up. This is what I love. And wow, I'm so happy, Susan. I love you. I miss you. I hope that you're doing well. Mom, I love you so much. And everyone that's watching, Marie, great to see you. I want to have you on as a guest on Manifesting Monday. We have so much going on. So many good things have come from this time of pause. And I just want to say thank you so much because, again, I enjoy from the beginning of my day here as, Donna V from Storytime till the end of the night, whenever we end our nights together. I mean, really, this has been an amazing miracle for me to spend time together with all of you. And I bid you adieu. So now I'm going to breathe out like I always do with the kids. And I swear it works for the adults too. I am peace. I am joy. I am love. I am a miracle. You guys are all miracles. I hope you have a wonderful night, a peaceful sleep. If you want to listen to something interesting, Abraham Hicks on YouTube, it's free. And I will tell you right now, I'll be listening tonight. Thank you so much. Hi, Noelle. How are you? Positivity. Oh, it just makes the day so much better. I'll see you in the morning for story time. Tomorrow's the letter T. So excited. A little girl started following me and she lost her tooth yesterday. So now I get to wish you namaste. Good night.